The S23 Ultra has just gotten a lot better. Let's go. The S23 Ultra has officially now got One UI 7, meaning the greatest phone of all time is now even better than it was before. So let's dive in and look at some of the headline stuff that you can expect from One UI 7, some of the great stuff that it brings, and also some of the annoying stuff, especially if you compare it to One UI 7 on other Samsung phones, like the newer ones. Just go straight into it. First thing you really will notice with the S23 Ultra, as soon as you launch One UI 7, is the new way of interacting. It's got all of the same One UI 7 bells and whistles in terms of fluidity and animations and interactions than what the higher end flagships or the newer ones give you. So a swipe down from the left gives you the notification panel, swipe across to bring you the quick panel, and then you can expand and interact with those as you need to. And then just fluidly going into the rest of the operating system when you swipe up on the home screen to go to the app menu. It's all very fluid, all very natural. It's basically brought a new lease on life for the S23 Ultra with these new interactions. That's not to say that you can't go back to the old way and still get One UI 7's animations, but with the old way of interacting. Samsung have left that in there with the ability in the quick panel, for example, to hit the edit icon and then go back to the old way where you can show them together and then have it single swipe down be toggles and notifications, and then another swipe down to give you expanded quick panel options. I think you're better off going to the new way personally, because I think Samsung will iterate that as time goes on and you may as well get used to it now. But there is a way to go back. Same with the app drawer. You can go back to horizontal swiping across instead of vertical if you want to. But again, better off getting used to the new way Samsung have made it, because that is how things will be prioritized going forward, especially as you have a little alphabetical scroll wheel on the side that allows you to quickly navigate to the one you want. And it's just a really nice fluid way of going in between all the screens that are available. Quick panel can also be customized where you can actually have things in the order that you like. As of yet, you cannot delete or remove things that you don't want, but at least the fact you can move them into the position to make it easier to use one-handed is available. Because of the way One UI 7 is now designed with the sort of more subtle curves with all of the icons and all of the menus, I think it suits the S23 Ultra, because I think this is still Samsung's peak slab smartphone design. You have the slightly rounded corners of the display that then melt into the slightly curved edges of the screen, and then you've got the ever so slight sides that are flat but slightly curved as well. It is, for my opinion, the best designed slab phone Samsung has. And now with Samsung's best design software sort of combined into it, you've got a really nice interactive experience. The other big headline feature with One UI 7 is the Now Bar. The Now Bar, we saw it on the beta. I did do a video comparing all the One UI 7 betas and final versions about a month ago. And the Now Bar has made its way to the final version of the S23 Ultra. There's no Now Brief, unfortunately. However, I do have a version of One UI 8 running on my Flip 6, and the Now Brief is there on that phone. So that's really nice. Hopefully we'll get to see that on the S23 Ultra as well. But the Now Bar is a bit of an interesting one on here. It does bring all of my favorite sort of interactions with the Now Bar. You go into lock screen on AOD, you've got all the toggles and all the things that the Now Bar can showcase in that settings menu. But where the Now Bar gets a bit tricky is how it displays on Always On Display. So in the settings, it sort of shows you where it's going to pop up, the live notifications, the notifications area, and also the Now Bar on the lock screen and AOD. On Always On Display though, especially on the S23 Ultra, it doesn't sit where it shows you. It sort of moves around and doesn't really stay in the one spot. There is a reason for this. It's 100% down to the fact that Samsung's panel on here isn't as advanced as what is on the S24 and S25 Ultra. Where on those phones, it can sit in the one spot on Always On Display. It can't on here. So to preserve burn-in, it sort of moves it more aggressively around the screen. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, because when the lock screen is activated and woken up, it sits where it's meant to, and then you interact with it the way you're supposed to. The problem I have is the animations that Samsung have gone for. When you lock the screen to go to Always On Display, the animation is soft and subtle and just gentle. But when you go from Always On Display to lock screen, it's harsh and aggressive and almost like leaps to get down into that bottom section as opposed to a graceful move. It could be a bit jarring because you could have seen where it was and then all of a sudden you've got to adjust to its new location. It's not a big deal, obviously. It just shows to me, though, that there wasn't the attention to detail that Samsung have put into everything else. Potentially, this could just be a bug that they haven't worked out yet and they maybe fix it. But as of now, it's very janky to go from always on display into the lock screen. It just jumps into place. But once you're there, operates flawlessly. Tap on it, expands it out, and you can interact with it in that way. The live notifications is also part of that. So when you are unlocked and in the home screen, you've got the live notification tile sitting in that top left corner. Again, tap on it to interact with it and expand it out. And if you've got multiple live notifications, whether you have 2 football games going on, like Inter Miami and then the Barcelona game from earlier this morning, or whether you've got music player added into that as well, you can then swipe and interact with those and sort of move them out of the way. The now bar works the same too. If you've got multiple on the now bar, just swipe them up and down and it'll change to the one that you are looking for. One of my favorite things, the now bar and the live notifications, especially because with football games, you can keep updated with scores. Like the Inter Miami game that's currently being playing as I'm filming this, I'm going to watch as much as I can as soon as I finish filming. Inter Miami went 1-0 up within 10 minutes, and I was able to see that goal in live notification form on my phone screen. Big fan of it. Well, Miami didn't win and Messi didn't score, so a big part of One UI in recent years is Galaxy AI. Samsung have ever updated this since it's launched, and I think the version we have now is definitely the most advanced AI on a smartphone. The S23 Ultra gets a slice of that pie. Not all of it though. You miss out on audio eraser, you miss out on the now brief, you miss out on photo ambient wallpaper, and you miss out on health assist, which is odd. Doesn't seem like it needs to be too much not to be on here. Anyway, it's not in the menu. The stuff that is here though is exactly what's on the S25 series. So all of the same settings, all the same features exist. Things like read highlights aloud from the internet assist, browsing assist, that's there. The other two that I really wanted to show is the generative edit or the new photo assist features and the drawing assist. Love that both of these are the new full updated version, especially generative edit. I think this is such a good tool to use and works so flawlessly. When you pick a photo that you want something removed from and you hit the Galaxy AI icon and then you go and remove whatever you want, it will remove it. Now, it is cloud processed. There is no on-device processing going on here. In fact, if you go into the Galaxy AI menu and you hit process data only on device, it's a very limited amount of features that can process on the phone itself, especially when you compare it to the S25 Ultra. That list is much more extensive. But the fact that it can do it and it does it really nicely and does it pretty swiftly, I think is a big win. It's a very powerful feature and you don't lose out just because you've got a 2-year-old phone. Wow, this is 2 years old. That's a lot to handle. The other big one is the drawing assist. Samsung have brought the same drawing assist from the S25 Ultra into the S23 Ultra as well. The one where you can have both drawing something, so whether you want to draw a football, the right one, and then turn that into a sketch of some kind, whether you want to pick a reference image, and that can then make an AI generated image off of that. What did I say? AI generated image. That's better. And then you can write a text prompt and add that in as a prompt to generate an image based off the style that you're choosing. And then you can save that either as a photo or as a sticker to go into your sticker album. Love that, and love the drawing assist is the full hog here on the S23 Ultra. Then there's the camera to go through. Now, in terms of features, it hasn't really got a lot updated. In fact, there's really nothing extra that the camera can do. The new layout is there, much easier to use one-handed. All the menu stuff is down the bottom. The 4-dot menu with all the settings and the toggles also down the bottom. But as far as new features goes, there isn't any. Everything is kind of as it was before. There's only one little one where if you go into advanced video options, you can toggle on HDR10+, and then you see that toggle in the actual camera menu itself, where you can toggle it on and off without having to go into the menu all the time. Unfortunately, log video did not make it to the S23 Ultra. Again, though, it is on the Flip 6 on One UI 8, the build that I have. So hopefully we see log video on the S23 Ultra as well. There's no reason why this can't do it. There was one extra setting though that I did find, Deepen Camera Assistant, now that One UI 7 is here, and that is save videos to external storage. So if you want, you can plug in an SSD into the USB slot here and then save a video directly to it. And there's pretty much all the video modes available that you can do that with too. So that's a nice touch. I am planning a sort of One UI 7 camera comparison between the S23 Ultra, the S24 Ultra, and the S25 Ultra. Let me know if that's something you want to see in the comments below, because it'd be interesting to see the progression of processing across the three models. There was one extra sort of feature that I wanted to showcase, and that's best face, and the fact that it's here on the S23 Ultra as well. Very good feature if you've got kids and you use motion photo. You can take the photo, and then if they've blinked or they've done a silly face, you can go back to the previous 3 seconds of, I guess, footage, video, whatever it's captured, and then it will extract the best faces to then replace onto the faces of the people in the image. Good tool, and it's here on the S23 Ultra to use. Just again, adds extra to the already best phone, now with better features. And that's really what this phone was. It was the best phone of its time, and now that One UI 7 is here, it's now made it even better. It would be an interesting experiment for me to perhaps maybe switch back to this for a week and see if I miss anything about the S25 Ultra. I suspect there'll be a couple of things that I want to go back to, like audio eraser and log video, but I don't know if it'll be too much, or maybe the 5x camera. I'm a big fan of that camera, by the way. But let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. It won't be yet. It might be a couple weeks away, but let me know. Whilst you're down there, you can hit subscribe, because the only way to keep up with all the videos that I'm putting out there is to subscribe and turn those notifications on. And then I will see you guys in the next one. You!